Hey everybody, this is Greg with Medical Muscle. And in this video, I want to talk about research at St. George University and then also why research is so important for residency programs. So, first off, how do you get into the research program at St. George University? Well, in my term, you had to have over a 90% in term one to get into the MSRI program in term two. Okay, basically you had to have over 90 because it's for your benefit. You have to show basically that you can not only handle the workload that SU is giving you and you're excelling, getting an over a 90, but you can take on this extra workload, okay, which is research. It's not going to help your GPA. It's going to be something extra on top of that. So just be aware of that. It is more work. It's a lot more work. It can be. And you do not want this to negatively affect your grades because your grades in the end are more important because your grades, determine how you're going to do on step, and how you do on step one determines how you're going to do on step two, which is the most important thing. All right. But this is a nice thing to add on to your CV. So starting in term two, I got hooked up with a great research advisor in the MSRI program at St. George University. And during term two, we pumped out 2 review papers because, again, we were still in the COVID world and no one was doing hands-on research. So we did reviews, which are actually relatively easy. Basically, what you're doing is you're collecting a bunch of information from other papers on the topic that you're researching, and you're just supporting whatever you are discussing in the paper with other information, right? So that's basically it. It took maybe between, 6 and 7 weekends of work. So 6 or 7 weeks, but really it was like maybe only 2 or 3 hours each day. Maybe a little bit of the work in the middle of the week, but that main week was being designated to school stuff, which is the most important. So again, don't let these papers get in the way of your grades. Now, I'll link below all the papers that I've published, so you can check them out. Then during term 2 and 3, we worked on some other papers. And then in term 4, we did 2 more papers, systematic reviews. Okay, so systematic reviews are a little different. They are a lot harder. Okay, but they're still pretty easy. It's more of like a scientific way of writing a paper because it's reproducible. So basically, you're giving the outline of how you're searching for all these papers and collecting this data, right? So you're giving like a timeline of between this point and this point, this is when we're collecting this. These are the keywords that we're using to find papers that support what we're looking at. And this is, and then we excluded this many because of this reason. We took in this many so that if someone did the same search that you did with the same criteria, they're going to get the same papers and come up with the same conclusion on whatever topic that you're trying to support. So we did 2 of those. And then for fun, between term 4 and 5, I wrote a paper with some friends on a topic that I really like. Okay, so psilocybin and psychiatry and how it can be used for different clinical, issues and drug addiction. So it's really cool. Okay, so what if you didn't get into the MSRI program because your grades were just not good enough? Well, do not worry. Okay, there are 3 things you can do to get published in research, okay, outside of, getting into the program. So, first thing you can do, in clinicals, you're going to be exposed to a lot of patients, and every so often, you guys are going to see something very unique, and you can write a case report. They're not a strong form of research, but it just shows that you can get something published, okay? Now, the problem with case reports for me is that I am not experienced enough to know if something is not that interesting, if it's really just common. You have to really write on something that would help the scientific community because it's rare, okay? And they're pretty easy to write. It's just based off of like, it could be based off of one patient. So obviously not super scientific. It's not super, strong scientifically, but that's something you can do. Okay. And I know that attendings and residents are going to want to help you because they get their name on that too. Okay. Now, number 2, you can, say if you don't have a 90, but you are absolutely confident that you're going to do well in research and you can handle the workload. Say if you're like 85 and above. You can go to one of the research advisors, one of the MSRI research advisors at St. George University, contact them, or even better, go talk to them in person, and introduce yourself and just say, hey, I want to be a part of something. I didn't get into the program because of this reason, but I'm telling you, I'm a hard worker and all this stuff. Okay. There was a lot of people that came in that situation that our research advisor had allowed. But guess what? They ended up just dropping out and never getting a paper published because, you have to be a good worker too. Got to say that. So don't be one of those people. Don't get in and be like, yes, I'll definitely help out, and then just flub out. Okay? Don't waste anybody's time. Now, number 3, and this is probably the best way to write a paper. This is how we did our last one. Come up with an idea on your own. Collect some other friends that are motivated to write a paper together on a topic that you really like, okay? Something that's interesting. And I want you to start researching it. Look up papers, create a framework of what the paper is going to look like, and then present it to one of the doctors, okay? And then just say, hey, would you be our advisor for this paper? And you can get your name on the paper. So it's a win-win. Basically, you can get first authorship that way. And, they get an easy paper, because they get to help with, you writing this. So the publication process, you just look at different journals. There's a bunch of them. And they're going to cost some money. Usually, if you're in the MSR program, the college will pay St. George will pay for the cost, and that can be between, $300 to $500 per publication, right? Some places are more expensive. So, if you can have the school or the hospital help pay for that, there we go. Okay. Now, what are some downsides? Well, again, it takes a lot of time. But I think all in all, it's a great experience. I really, really, really hope that you guys can write some of these papers. I think why I've written so many, I've written 5, okay? 5 papers. It's because I got first author on 2 of those papers. And I felt like I needed to help my teammates who had helped me with that paper get first authorship too. So I had some obligation to get them first authorship. So really, you guys should share who gets first author. And one of the easiest ways to order who gets what is who wrote the most, right? So if you're the lead, you should be, basically constructing, what the paper is going to look like. And then, people pick their jobs, what topics of that, what aspect of that paper they're going to cover. But then you should write the volume, okay? You're going to cover maybe the introduction, the conclusion, and then one of the bulk pieces. And then, the other people on your team are going to write smaller sections, okay? That's about it. That's research. Now, for residency. Research is, from what I understand, the best thing to have as an extracurricular on your CV, because hospitals want to be known as like a research institution. It's just a good thing. It sounds good. And if you have research experience, then it's easier for them to get you to do research while you're a resident, and you can put the hospital's name on and they get some recognition too. So it's a win-win for them. You get another paper, I guess, they give you residency, and then they get someone who's going to write research for them. It shows that you can take on a huge workload and that you like the academic side of medicine, because in reality, doctors are constantly looking at papers and seeing what is the clinical best way to treat any specific patient, right? Okay. That's how we know what is the best way to do it, and it's always evolving. So you're adding to the wealth of knowledge that will help someone someday. Okay. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoy it because it's fun. It's something different than what you do. I feel like it works the creative side. It's kind of like, painting or something. It's like you get to do something different, use a different part of your brain than just sitting and looking at photos of histology. All right, guys. I hope that was good, and I hope you guys kick butt whatever test you're going into.